Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Take a text. This stopped completely. What did you do?
I closed some things that shouldn't have been open.
We should not disrupt it once it started, okay?
Mm-hmm.
It starts sharing button has not been pressed. Verse number 11. Yogino bhogino vapi
Yogino bhogino vapi
Tyagino ragino picha
Tyagino ragino picha
Jnanan moksho na sandeha
Jnanan moksho na sandeha
Iti Vedanta Dindimaha.
Iti Vedanta Dindimaha.
That last portion we can chant it together. So one more time. Yogin, verse number 11. Yogino bhogino vapi
Yogino bhogino vapi
Tyagino ragino picha
Tyagino ragino picha
Jnanan moksho na sandeha
Jnanan moksho na sandeha
Iti Vedanta Dindimaha. Yeah. Last time we saw, what did we see? That there is a process of assimilating this knowledge. How is this knowledge gained? If one were to ask, we cite the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, the dialogue between the two sages Yajnavalkya and Maitreyi, where Yajnavalkya says to Maitreyi, this Atma has to be known. Atma means I. This Atma has to be known as the cause of the universe, as non-separate from the whole. It has to be known. And in order to know it, what does one have to do? Shravanam, listen. Study through listening. Study doesn't mean picking up book and reading. Because the reading, what does it do? The reading is being done with the same infrastructure which one is trying to drop. That infrastructure is coming in the way of listening. And what is this infrastructure? It is either the past or the past lives, doesn't matter. This is not something to think about and analyze, because the deeper we go into analysis about what is coming in the way, we are not any better off. So therefore, that same infrastructure that tells me I am no good, I don't deserve this knowledge, I'll never get this knowledge, I have so many obstacles, I don't know Sanskrit, so many things come in. I don't know how to chant, and I am not, I'm not going to get this knowledge, and I'm an idiot, I'm limited, How can I be limitless? These are this is the outlines of the infrastructure that is carried by the jiva. Jiva means who? The one with pet peeves. Piva. Yeah. You know. This infrastructure, what happens to this infrastructure is that we have to, see that this infrastructure comes in the way of knowing I am the whole. If I do self-study. Self-study doesn't help. Yajnavalkya tells Maitreyi, his wife, and what does he say? So therefore, it has to be listened to from somebody who knows it and who can handle the means of knowledge called the Shastra in the form of the teaching. The words become a means of knowledge, and the means of knowledge handled by somebody who has received the knowledge. That is why the Shrotriya becomes very important. Somebody who has been taught well, somebody who receives this knowledge is the one, is the one who can give this knowledge. And the knowledge is not something that is given or, made a hole in the head and poured through the Sahasrara Chakra. No. So, I wish it was that easy. But the knowledge, quote unquote, is the obliteration of these wrong notions. That's what the knowledge is. The knowledge I am the whole is a gained knowledge. So the quote unquote accomplishment of this knowledge is an as though accomplishment, not a real accomplishment, because it's like how far does the hand have to travel to be close to space? Is it closer to space now? How about now? Maybe now it's a little closer. So the knowledge is gained. That moksha that I am seeking, I already am. But what is not understood is, this is not understood because there are all this jungle of pains and sorrows from the past that, weave this intricate web of lies about the I, really. And the more the web is weaved, the more I believe into this self-created tapestry. Using mithya skeins. Mithya embroidery, mithya canvas, mithya skeins. And what does it do? It stops this knowledge from being uncovered, because that jungle of the web that I create comes in my way. So therefore, one is told, please listen. Listen with an open mind. Listen. Give the knowledge a chance to operate upon this jungle. What is this jungle? That which I thought was the inner landscape is actually a jungle. Because I'm scared to go in. That's why it's a jungle. It's fearful. And so therefore what? So I am told, listen. And then in the process of listening, all these thoughts and this which became part of this infrastructure to begin with, do they go away? No. I mean, it will be nice if they went away. Maybe, ideally speaking, they will go away because the listening itself is the primary means for gaining this knowledge. But chances are they will come back in the form of questions. I know I am the whole, but how to experience it? I know I am the whole, but some other teacher said that you cannot talk about it. So why are you talking about this? All these questions come. Valid questions, very good questions, coming from, what one has heard from the outside. And, because one is struggling to give this knowledge a chance, and that struggle is encapsulated in the form of doubts. And there are a lot of doubts. Thankfully, this is not a belief-based tradition, so the doubts have their own, airing time. And the airing of the doubts or so that they can be cleared, is done in two ways. We saw this all last time. This is just a recapitulation. And the airing of the doubts is done through asking questions in the class or after the class, and also sometimes ruminating on the knowledge, much like a cow that chews the cud after having, eaten the grass very, very quickly. You have to change the setting so that it is not always...
I did.
Yeah. So it's not connected now?
No, I will try if it's going to be okay without this connected.
Okay. So then we have to see how we saw last time that I gave the metaphor of the cow that consumes the grass quickly because it's hungry. And also cows don't have a good sense of time. You put them to pasture and they don't think I have the whole day to graze. Yeah, I can have lunch in the front portion and then in the back portion I can have dinner. There is no hurry. I have the whole day. No, the cow is not having some kind of a cell phone with a clock attached to it that it keeps looking at. Correct? And so for the cow, which is in the stable all day long, the pasture time is just like right now I have grass, I'm going to eat. So it eats very quickly. Like the hungry mumukshu attends all the classes and gets all the, eats all the grass of knowledge. And then what? Then the cow goes to a shady place. Then the cow is surprised. What? I'm still outside? And it has 4 stomachs. And it regurgitates the food which it has hastily consumed and then slowly ruminates. It is called chewing the cud. And the word for chewing the Vedanta cud is what? Mananam. So Shravanam, listening, Mananam, chewing the Vedanta cud, dispelling the doubts, either through one's own knowledge, because the answers do come after you have studied. Oh, why? How come I didn't see this? Or why is this? And then quickly the answer will come. So that is the second level, where if there are doubts, it is addressed. And then thirdly, this is, I know I am Brahman, but I don't act in accordance with this knowledge. This is a problem that is encountered by many. I know I am Brahman. Does Brahman get angry? What is your guess? No. But I get angry. I know I am Brahman. Does Brahman get sad? Of course not, but I seem to get sad. How can Ananda Brahman get sad? But I seem to get sad. Brahman gets angry? No, but if I am Brahman, then how come I get angry? So these are the questions. This is called in Sanskrit Viparita Bhavana. Viparita Bhavana means not acting in accordance to what I know to be true. I have no doubt that I am Brahman. I have no doubt that this knowledge rings true. I have no doubt that I want this knowledge. I have no doubt about anything that the Shastra says. Except only one small doubt. How can I be this? Because look at my day-to-day life. Because people are focused on the day-to-day life. And so this knowledge, is not helping me. That is what they think. Overcome this anger, overcome this fear, overcome the terror or the sorrow, or because even though I know this understanding, my life is not in keeping with this understanding. And so the second level of doubt removal, first is the doubts are about, does this knowledge work? You see, the doubts are centered on the knowledge. And in the second one, the doubts are centered on oneself really. How can I be this? And that level of doubt removal is called nididhyasanam. Nididhyasanam, or contemplation upon the words of the teaching, which I have known to be true and which has helped me. So I have to contemplate on the fact that I am Brahman. There are sentences in the Shastra which make it easy to do that. Contemplate means keep bringing that into mind again and again repeatedly. Not just repetition of the words like a mantra, that doesn't help. What helps is seeing the meaning as myself. Aham Brahmasmi, I am indeed Brahman. And if I feel completely involved in samsara, asangoham, I am uninvolved. Atma is uninvolved. Anandoham, I am Satchidananda. I am not this bucket of sorrow that I have concluded myself to be. So all this is the 3 levels of assimilation of the knowledge. Shravanam is enough, the first one. Listening is enough. But if there are doubts, these are the 2 ways to remove the doubts. This is what we have understood. Now there might be a question. The question here is called Purva Paksha. Purva Paksha means what? The one who raises some objections. And who is the person who raises some objections? The one who is needing to do mananam. Correct? The one who has doubts is that now this is what we are going from, is we are actually revising what this mananam means in the form of the 11th verse. Are there any exceptions to the rule? This is a silent question which is not asked. The answer is given. So we have to make this interpolation. The question that is asked is this. Are there any exceptions to the rule that jnanam, knowledge, is gained, has to be gained in order to be free? That moksha and knowledge are linked together. That through the study, through this 3-fold study, through study and dispelling of doubts, is this the way to attain the knowledge? That is the question. Are there any exceptions to the fact that, there is maybe some people who don't need to study? And always, we'll look at this verse and then go in detail. Always people like to look for exceptions. And who is the one looking for exceptions? The one who thinks I am exceptional. Why should the rule apply to me? That through study only is moksha. Why can't I be the exception? Correct? And also, it is the human nature, it's the jiva's nature, jivik nature, like Vedic, you can say jivik. It's a word now. So it's the jiva's nature to look for loopholes. Whether it's in taxes or Vedanta, one is always looking for the loophole. And what is the loophole? Like, somehow can I dodge this process and just get there? Because getting there is what is important. But can I just skip through this? And like Arjuna also wanted to skip through Karma Yoga, a very important process of preparation, and directly gain the knowledge. Leave the battle, skip through everything, go sit under a tree in Haridwar. Haridwar means it's a holy place. Half the people are in orange, it's worth seeing. And from Kurukshetra, it's maybe a 2-day walk, Kurukshetra is on the outskirts of Delhi, where the Mahabharata war happened. And so, Arjuna, wanted, in the middle of leaving, he signed up for the battle. And this is what it is. You sign up for the commitment. And then when it becomes too hard, what happens? Bye-bye. When the going gets tough, the tough gets going. This is the jivik nature, I told you. So Arjuna also looks for loopholes. Exalted as he is, exalted seeker of knowledge as Arjuna, looks for loopholes. And he says also, you told me, it is through knowledge that one gains moksha. It is through this study and this hearing and everything. And yet I have to fight this battle. What is the connection? The connection is the preparation. Because that jungle of that infrastructure has to be, cut away through seva, through prayer, through shraddha, through bhakti. It all has to be pruned. Yeah. And until it is pruned, the knowledge cannot even enter. So this is what Arjuna also had this confusion. What is the connection between knowledge and moksha? And then his confusion was something else. His confusion was, if knowledge gives moksha, why should I do action? Yeah. Why should I fight this battle? Because knowledge is what gives moksha, correct? Yeah. Now our questioner's confusion is another, slightly on the same veins, but slightly opposite confusion. What is the confusion? Everybody has to study to gain moksha, that freedom. Everybody has to study. Is there an exception? Can I be that exception? Is there somehow I can gate crash into mokshadam? In certain theologies, all you have to say is, I am saved. These new evangelical sects have come up. You can do whatever you want before, and you can do whatever you want after. You say, I am saved. And having said I am saved, I'm free enough to go rob the bank. And a seat is reserved for me in this place called heaven, which is eternal. I don't know how. Because if that which is eternal cannot be outside of you and still continue to be eternal. Yeah. It cannot be. That which is eternal should include this I as well, at the very least. And it should be uncreated. Both those things has to be there. So, we also have heaven, but it's a place, a field of experience, which good karma is the fuel that takes us to heaven. And then when the fuel is exhausted, what happens? You come back. It's like riding in a hot air balloon. You just see the sights. There's a lot of hype about it. And then when the fuel is done, you have a little bit of a bumpy landing on the mortal realm. This is what happens. The fuel is your punya. So then the questioner here wants to know if they can be the exception, if there are any exceptions to the rule that that I can get crash to moksha. Why only there is this one way to moksha? This doesn't seem fair. And the proponents of this question will sweet talk their way through certain examples, because I should present the question properly. And what is that? How many restaurants in the world? Chinese cuisine, Japanese cuisine, Thai cuisine, Mexican food, Italian food, American food, whatever that is, burger, I suppose, I don't know what else, and French fry. Oh no, that's French. So many things. How many tastes, how many colors, how many flowers, how many jobs, how many personalities, how many characters, different, hats, the roles that we play in life. How come there is only one way for all these people? Or to accommodate all the tastes, to accommodate everybody's, there should be many ways, just like there are many tastes, many flowers, many ideas, many inventions, many eye tablets, many iPhone type, things, many competitions to the iPhone. Next one, I suppose, will be you phone. Because I won't phone. So, therefore, there are so many things for each one, for each personality. There is a whole array of choices. But when it comes to moksha, the most fundamental human need, you say, there are no choices. Is this fair? No, this is not fair. This is the questioner, And the doubt resonates in every heart until that commitment, which is called Purushartha Nishchaya, is made. Purushartha Nishchaya means what do I really want and what am I prepared to do to gain what I really want. This is called Purushartha Nishchaya and Arjuna is taught this in the second chapter. Eka iha kuru nandana. He says, Lord Krishna says, make up your mind, vyavasayatmika buddhihi. Commit to this once and for all, because if you waver in the commitment, that can take you away from the knowledge. Yeah. And spiritually speaking, we have a wonderful answer to this particular question that resonates in the heart of many people before they have made the commitment, that why is Vedanta so fanatic about linking the study to moksha? Why can't I just get moksha saying Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya? If I meditate all day, can't I get moksha? You will be prepared to gain moksha, our answer. And on a lighter note, the people in your family will get moksha from you. As long as you are meditating, they don't have to deal with you, which is a wonderful thing. But they'll get a relative moksha for a short time, because if you are calm and meditative, they don't have to deal with you if you are focused on meditation. So therefore, all this is a preparation, and there is really nothing fanatic about saying that for cooking you need fire. No, but what about the pot? Yes, it's an auxiliary preparation. Caveman did not have pot. Caveman dragged home anything from a bison on a lucky day, and an unlucky day a squirrel perhaps, and put it on the cave grill. That's all. So fire cooks. What about the pot? Yes, we need pot, but fire is the primary agent of cooking. What about the ladle? Yes, the ladle you need so that things don't stick to the pot, unless it's a pot sticker. Unfortunately for us, many things which are not intended to be pot stickers become pot stickers. So what about this? What about, salt and pepper? Yes, that is also an auxiliary thing in the cooking process. Primary thing is, without a stove or whatever it is, micro oven, some way to cook. Fire in various forms. There is no cooking possible. Similarly, in the process of gaining this moksha, we have to sift through the twofold kinds of things that are needed for the knowledge. One is the prior preparation. And I underline the word prior, because if the preparation is incomplete, then the fire, is the fire of knowledge will not cook adequately, will not assimilate properly. So then the prior, preparation, the chopping of the vegetables, etc., the shama, dama, uparati, titiksha, shraddha, samadhanam, a resolved mind, a respect for the teaching and the teacher, and a commitment to this knowledge, a single focused interest in gaining this knowledge, and using all the things in my life to focus on this commitment. This is all like the pots and the pans and the salt and the pepper shaker. But what is needed to activate all this assemblage is the study, that is likened to the fire. Okay? And so therefore what? So therefore, are there any exceptions? But why there are so many personalities and only one way to gain moksha? The answer is very simple. Moksha is not for the personality, it is for the person. Yeah. Personalities are many. Purusha, the person that we are discussing, is one and is free of personality. Yeah. Is free of attributes, is whole, happens to be oneself. And so therefore, this is not for this is not for, this Vedanta is not geared towards personalities. It is not how some kind of a quick fix to happiness. I wish it were, but it isn't. It's more like, it's not like fast food. You drive through, you pick it up, and of course it's called Happy Meal. Make someone happy. Maybe the producers of it are very happy because so many meals are sold. Maybe that's why it's called Happy Meal. This Vedanta is more like the slow food movement, where things have to keep cooking and then cooking some more. It's like sugar syrup. Anybody who has dealt with confectionery, making, what is that, candies, hard candies. So first there is what is called a 1-string sugar syrup. Then you have a 2-string sugar syrup. String means when you take the sugar and the water, when you have stirred it and then you take it up like that, it makes 1 string. It's called 1-string sugar syrup. 2 string, 3 strings, and then 4 strings. Okay, finally it is ready. And then what? If you overcook it, by the time you put it in the mold, it's all gone. You have misshapen candy. Yeah. And then you have to rename the candy Jawbreaker. That's what it does. That's its function. Why? Because the 4-string became 5-string. So it's a very delicate thing. It's a slow process. And since it doesn't deal with the personality, it doesn't reveal personality, it is not catering to the likes and dislikes. I like iPhone, you like phone. This is not at the level of this knowledge that we are talking about. This is an ancient, deep knowledge for the serious seekers. Yeah. It may be available on the net, but in order to net it within, one has to have what it takes. And this means Purushartha Nishchaya, an understanding of this commitment. And the commitment is not a back and forth commitment. I was committed for 3 days. And then what happened? I was not committed. And then what? I am committed again. And then what? I should be committed in a different way. So, because this back and forth is crazy making. And so therefore, there are no exceptions to this rule, because we have to understand what the rule is saying without reacting to the rule itself. If I start reacting to the rule, that the study alone gives freedom from this samsara, if I rebel against that rule, then it's not going to take me any further. I have to set aside, or at best at least suspend the rebellion and look at the very unique connection between the teaching and the gain of the knowledge. And what is the connection? It's a revealer-revealed connection. So once this knowledge, the Shastra revealed, is the revealer, and the person unto which it is revealed, that person is harboring a lot of doubts about the self. And what is revealed? What is revealed is the source of myself as the whole, which is a already established fact. That presence which I sense is free of the body-mind-sense complex, is free of all attributes, is that one for whom I search all the time. It is that only thing that I always want. It's that onlyness, it is that oneness, kaivalya, this is what I want. This has to be assimilated before before this knowledge can shake up a few things inside. Like I said, we are not putting in new knowledge. We are only revealing what is by cleaning the surface, clearing out the misnomers, the notions centered and mixed up with this I. So the teaching is more of a delineation. And since the misnomers are universal, how are we going to drop this? There should be only one way, because we are talking about the one. And we are not catering on the level of personality. And so, therefore, this is the answer that is given. He gives it in a slightly humorous way. And now we are ready, I think, to look at the verse. Yoginaha bhoginaha va api. Yoginaha means, the questioner is silently asking, what if one is a yogi? This can be taken in two ways. Who is a yogi? The one who does yoga. The one who likes to do asanas. What are asanas? Various postures. Seated postures, standing postures, asanas. And this is an important objection, because a lot of people think that if I do yoga enough, then I will, yogify my way to moksha. Because I become a yogi, and what will happen as a result? I will have moksha. Yoga leads to a strong back. A strong back leads to being able to sit for long periods of time without moving a muscle. And then if I sit for long periods of time, for what? Not to watch television, but in order to meditate. And what is this meditation? Chitta vritti nirodha, the stoppage of thoughts. So I will have a no thought process. And then no thought is called samadhi, where everything, the thought, the thinker and everything resolve. And that becomes an experience. And that experience is equal to moksha. This is the yoga's position. There is also this whole school, in the ancient school, yoga is a school of thought where this is their contention. So why not, if thoughts are the problem, because I think I am no good, I think I am an idiot, and so if I have no thoughts, then there is no problem at all. Then I can say, I had moksha for 3 hours. And then what happened? I had a thought. And what was the thought? Oh, I love this moksha. That was the thought. So if thought displaces freedom, which becomes greater, thought or freedom? Thought. And why am I giving this thought that is kshanika? Kshanika means that doesn't even last a moment, over that which is eternal, which is myself alone. This freedom is I. So that if the thought has the power to replace and displace the freedom, there is something wrong. Yeah. Because moksha is not an object of either thought or no thought. Because if only no thought is moksha, then everybody in coma should be a free person, because they are not having any brain activity. Permanent vegetative state. PVS it is called, medical term. So anybody in PVS who is not having registered brain activity in the form of thoughts should be free. That's a drastic way to gain moksha. Or we can also say that the sleeping person doesn't have any thoughts, correct? If you have thoughts when you sleep, what do you think? No thoughts in sleep. I'm not talking dream, in sleep. Then every sleeping person should have moksha. But that is not the case. Because moksha means that which is the truth of myself, which is that freedom from wanting, from a sense of lack, from a sense of limitation. That is the freedom. But what is happening here? What is happening here is the opposite. Is that I am looking for little times of freedom, whether it is freedom from thinking or freedom from, all kinds of things. And that is not what we are talking of as freedom. Freedom here is freedom from the notion that I am small, freedom from the notion I am limited, freedom from the notion, I am not the whole. This is the freedom that one is seeking. And it cannot be that for a little while I am free and then I am back into the samsara mode. What is the samsara mode? This life of becoming endlessly. Endlessly becoming something else. If only I knew this, I'll be okay. If only I had this, I would be okay. So what is the difference between a yogi and a non-yogi? The yogi is, the yogi has also mastered the art of samadhi. Samadhi means what? Having no thoughts. And the non-yogi also has mastered the art of samadhi. What is the art of samadhi? Sleep. Deep sleep. Yeah. Both of them know how to quickly enter a state of thoughtlessness. Sometimes in Vedanta class also. Yeah. And so what is the difference? There is no difference. I want you to see that. And the author also wants you to see that. So whether you are a bhogi, yogi, or what? Bhogi. Bhogi means what? Non-yogi, opposite of yogi. Bhoga, conspicuous consumption. Bhogi, the one who is given to conspicuous consumption. Not just food, but everything, like a capitalist. See, we can take this as I said in two ways. The yogi also, we can take yogi also somebody who is a meditator. Another way to look at it. May not know asanas and everything, but is a meditator. Can you meditate your way to moksha? No. Meditation can be a preparation that calms the mind so that you can be receptive to hearing what this is all about. Because my job as a student is to always be in a place of teachability. That is what the student brings to the Vedanta table. I have to be in a place of being teachable. I have to make myself teachable. And there I have, the action helps. Any kind of action. Whether it's meditation, whether it is, self-love, which yoga teaches, whether it is therapy, whether it is, dealing with the unconscious, which one has to do. Somehow one has to make, heal the triggers which the unconscious keeps putting forward in order to be open and receptive to the knowledge. A certain amount of respect that this knowledge will help, a respect that is directed towards the teaching and the teacher, and an open mind. This is what one brings to the table as a student of this teaching. And then only the knowledge can operate and dispel the pains and sorrows and a sense of want that is associated with the whole experience of feeling like I am finite, which is in fact a finite experience. That I am finite is a finite experience, thank God. That is not infinite. Something else is infinite, which is you already. And so therefore what? Whether one is a yogi or the complete opposite you take, bhogi. So what's the difference between yogi and bhogi? Both are meditators. Oh, bhogi is also a meditator? When? How? Bhogi is always meditating on what to consume next. Yeah. That's all. What to have for the next meal, what to do next, how to become more of a conspicuous consumer. So the bhogi and the yogi doesn't matter, because the bhogi is centered on what? Action. Yogi is centered also on action. And what is that action? The striving to have no thought. The striving to not strive. That is the action. So whether one is striving to not strive, or whether one is striving to strive, bhogi, what is the difference? No difference. they are still ignorant, both of them, of their own nature. And if ignorance is coming in their way of enjoying the truth of themselves, then what does that ignorance, how should that ignorance be dropped? Through the knowledge, through exposing oneself to this teaching. Yeah. Bhogi can also be taken as the Charvaka Matam. Charvaka is an ancient school of thought, like the yoga school. These are all Purva Pakshis. And the Charvaka school believes in the maxim that all that is here is this one life. You have to consume quickly as much as possible in this one life that you have. Don't care about the rest of the population. It's a dog eat dog world. So go out, go forth and be a go-getter. Get whatever you need. Doesn't matter if you max out your credit card, but make sure to have ghee with every meal. You know. And, yavat jivet, sukham jivet. As long as you live happily. Whatever gives you happiness, on the level of personality, live happily. Rinam kritva api ghritam pibet. Make sure that you drink ghee. Drink ghee, yeah. Even though you have to borrow money to do that. Oh, but who's going to pay that back? Why are you worried about something like that? You should not worry about something like that. Why? Because bhasmi bhutasya dehasya punaragamanam kutah. Once this body is consigned to the flames, who is going to bring it back? Who is going to come back to pay the debt? Go ahead and max out the credit card. Empty the coffers if you're a politician, because this is all that you get. And, this is all there is to it. So it's not a accountable lifestyle. A bhogi's lifestyle is fraught with a consumerism that discounts the ecology, discounts the other people around, and discounts any kind of accountability to the fact that one is belonging to a community or society. The yogi, by contrast, is very disciplined, very responsible, always, is focused on self-discipline, keeps doing kriyas, all these things. And so, but in terms of ignorance, however, both of them are not any different. Both of them do not know I am the whole. So the yoga can help the person. The yogi is better off because the yoga at least is in keeping with gaining the preparations for moksha, for freedom that one seeks. But the bhoga, what does it do? It drives one away from the knowledge, really, as the other verses are going to emphasize, as the coming verses will emphasize. The bhoga will take one away from the knowledge because the more one consumes, the more one is consumed by what one consumes. And so therefore what? Whether one is a yogi or a bhogi, then two other things, very nice rhyming things. Tyagi. Tyagi means what? One who likes to give things up. There are people, and we all know people like that. They will call us up and say, I have given up sugar. Why? I just felt like it. I have given up milk. I have given up something or the other. I have given up movies. I have given up chocolate. Nobody says that here. Everybody looks forward to prasad. So, but one can, one can give up a whole lot of things. And then it's no fun giving up unless you can talk about it, correct? What's the point of giving up privately and sitting with what you have given up? You have to advertise, and that's why there are New Year resolutions, because that is the time to give up things. January 1st you give up. January 2nd, somehow you are still given up. And January 3rd, you have given up giving up, right? This is what happens. So the tyagi means the one who gives up. You can take it in the traditional sense of a renunciant, the one who says, I no longer want to have anything with this world. I give up all worlds of experiences. I give up pursuing things for my own benefit. I will remain like a dried leaf which is taken by the winds of autumn to various destinations within the town. I mean, if you see now the autumn is going to start, you can see in your own city where the leaf falls. First it is lying there right underneath. Then a little circular wind comes and blows it a little way away. And then the gardener or the person who is gardening gathers all the leaves together. This one somehow has a different karma. This one still, stands out of the heap. And then what? Then it too is caught in the next round of raking. It's raked up, and then in certain communities they put it in a bag or the big bin and put it outside. Or some other people, if you're living in the country, they take it and compost it, correct? And if you ask each leaf, what is your trajectory, what is your story, each one will have a different story to tell. It will say, I came from the west side of town and I travelled a little bit here, I went to the post office and I went to the mall and I was here and then I went back here and then I was finally bagged. Correct? So the renunciant's life is like that. There is no pursuit whatsoever. One gives up the pursuit and one remains like a dried leaf, willing to go anywhere and be taken anywhere as the needs of the karma of the body dictates. One is not pursuing any kind of agenda for themselves. This is the life of a renunciant. In fact, the Shastra says, Sanyasya Shravanam Kuryat. After you renounce, please sit and do Shravanam. Yes. Because renouncing and then not following the teaching is like wearing a tuxedo to stay at home. Spend a quiet evening at home. Person gets all dressed up, puts on makeup, puts on everything, puts on a flower in the lapel. Nice tuxedo one buys. Oh, where are you going? You have a night out? No. Prom? No. Concert? No. Party? No. Dinner? No. Formal gathering? No. Are you getting married? No. What are you doing? Oh, I just thought I'll stay at home. And what is that called? All dressed up with no place to go. This is the tyagi without knowledge. You dress up in your Sunday best to stay at home and draw the blinds also so that nobody sees you. So therefore what? There is some kind of a disconnect here. Again, the renunciation is vairagya. A lifestyle of renunciation is extremely recommended for internalizing this teaching. Giving up of raga-dveshas, giving up of preferences and prejudices, that's also a form of baby renunciation in the everyday. I make do without, wanting to have my own way all the time because I'm focused on something much bigger than that. And so even that is part of this teaching, this knowledge. But what happens? That is also preparation. Vairagya is preparation or not? Yes, that is renunciation. So the tyagi, the one who gives up raga-dveshas, is also what? The one who is a prepared person for the knowledge. Does the prepared person need the knowledge or not? Yes, it is in fact for the prepared person that this knowledge exists. So the prepared person is the one who needs this knowledge. So what if I am prepared but can I get in without the knowledge? What can I say? Because the root problem is ignorance. Root of samsara is ignorance. And whether you are a bhogi or a, yogi, what happens? It's still the same. Whether you are, a tyagi, a renunciant, or what is the other one? Ragi. Ragi means what? Raga, desire. Ragi, the one who has desires. Ragi is also some kind of a grain in South India. Don't say, oh, ragi, the grain will get moksha. No. We are not talking of ragi, that ragi. But we are talking here of the one with raga dveshas is called ragi. Raga and dvesha means preferences and prejudices, aka likes and dislikes. This is what it is. So the ragi means the one who has spent his or her whole life cultivating the personality. Cultivating the edges of the personality, so the person is very sharp and angular. Can't stand this, don't want that, can't stand noises, can't stand people, certain people. And can't stand this, has to have everything a certain way. And we know these, we know this kind of a situation so many times. Once I went to somewhere to have dinner with somebody, and in the next table there was a person, not my table but the one next door, next to it, and the person kept on saying, the poor waiter, I felt so bad. Person said, starting with the beverage, can I have this without that? Okay, I forgot what the beverage choice was. But she wanted two things mixed up but without something else. Can I have the salad but the dressing, can you mix the ranch? Ranch is the name of a dressing? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then something else. Can you mix the two but then give them on the side? And then what? And then can you toast the bread? But then whatever you do to make it garlic bread, can that also come on the side? And can you toast the bread on the grill which doesn't have garlic? And the waiter was just so confused. So you don't want garlic scratch? No, I want garlic but on the side. So then if you're going to put the garlic anyway, so what does it matter to you where the bread is grilled? No, I want it separate. And same thing with the entree. I want this but not that. I'll have that but not this. Can you mix these two entrees and take out that and that? And this is how it is. And then can you tell that table there, can you tell that child to be a little quiet please? This is what? A quintessential ragi which we are talking about. Wants to manipulate the whole world in order to be comfortable. Yeah. Because if my threshold of comfort is so low, so high, which is it? High or low?
Low if it's
Low? High?
Threshold.
Interesting to think about, yeah. So if my threshold of discomfort, there we go, got it. If my threshold of discomfort is so low, threshold of comfort is high. So if my threshold of discomfort is so low, then what happens? Then I am always sitting on pins and needles. You know that, what is that? That mat of nails, bed of nails. Actually, the yogi should be sitting on the bed of nails in the beginning of the verse. But who is sitting on the bed of nails? The ragi. The ragi is sitting permanently on a bed of nails because it takes a whole universe to make them comfortable. And even then they will blame the black holes and the stars. Yeah. This is what it is. It is called, what is, such a person is called in common contemporary parlance, a high maintenance individual. Correct?
Downer to be
Yeah, downer. And downer means they don't go down, they bring others down. Yeah. So, and a high maintenance individual. Yeah. High maintenance. Meaning what? All the time they need some tinkering. They need to be tinkering with the surrounding because they are not happy with the surrounding. And if the surrounding is a certain way, then only I can be comfortable. If the surrounding is a little bit awry, I cannot be comfortable. You know. And such a person, even when they go to therapy, this is a quintessential ragi. They will first rearrange the room of the therapist and then say, only when all this, I don't like how you have all this. And I want to change this and change that, then only I can sit down and tell you what is going on with me. Correct? Yeah. So this is the thing that is called ragi, the one who is not able to manage the likes and dislikes. One who is not able to manage one's likes and dislikes because everything is a cause of discomfort. Why? Because it's a powerfully projected outside what is within. And what is within? One doesn't like oneself. That is what is within. And therefore, one thinks that if I can only control the environment, I can be okay. If I can just tweak this person, I can be okay. If I can train the spouse to respond to my needs in a certain way, I can be okay. Actually, such people are very sad. The more ragas, dveshas you have, the sadder the person. Because in any given situation, one may be wanting to manipulate the world, but the world is not available for my manipulation. It isn't. It just simply is not. Why? Because each person in the universe is also wanting to manipulate the universe. This is what is happening. And so therefore what? So whether one is a bhogi or a yogi or a tyagi or a ragi, what does one need in order to be free? Knowledge. Jnanat moksha. By knowledge alone is moksha, no other way. Na sandeha. Of this harbor no doubt about this. Thus spake Vedanta. Iti Vedanta Dindima. This is the proclamation of Vedanta. More we will see after taking a 25-minute break. So we will stop this now and then we'll come back whichever time zone you are at 11 o'clock Pacific time. We will regather and continue with this. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.